Hello everybody, welcome back to Gelvin Valley. We are harvesting here. We're in the largest field that we have, field number 18. I should say we're not harvesting here. I'm just windrowing up some straw windrows to prepare it for baling. And this is Gelvin Valley, Farming Simulator 15, a wonderful map made by Wild Wes. And our harvester is actually over here in our pasture field. And oh, I hear that telltale beeping sign again. I just had an episode before and I've been wrestling like crazy with courseplay again. No big surprise. I just wish this was smart enough not to run into the silly fence. Go find the combine, do what you need to do. Yeah, these, back in the day, there always were maps, they said, that weren't courseplay friendly. And you know what? I think we are on one of those. Alright, you turned around. I'll give it to you. You didn't hit the fence that time. But you wanted to, didn't you? No, don't go over here. I wonder if it's trying to find... Yeah, it's trying to find the left-hand side of the combine. But you know, I also took out a mod, and I'm really curious to see if it's going to make a difference. That barrel, what is it doing up there? That's supposed to be down in the barnyard. I have no idea why it's up there. You know, this is going to fill it. Maybe? Yes? Is in traffic. Okay. Telling me to stop. Let me see. It's you. I don't know. Come on, turn. You silly thing. Yeah, this here... Probably to truly be a courseplay friendly map, there's a whole host of collisions that would need to be removed. And let me see, does it still have its... No, you know what? Drive now, you're full enough. Alright, I'm gonna go to my other tractor. I want to see if this can do it all on its own. We'll let me get on here. We're gonna see if... Come on. Oh, I see. I got the brake on. Duh. That isn't going to help. I think I am on there. Alright, it's heading into storage. It looks like it's stopped. Maybe I found it. Maybe I got lucky. This was kind of a random mod. I forget. It was something about a separate fill level. Alright, I gotta know. Let me head down there. Good boy! Okay, it emptied it. Fantastic. Okay, so this other mod was something where I believe if you had multiple trailers, you could toggle between them all and it would tell you the fill level of each. But I think it had some unintended consequences, you know, one of which we saw in that courseplay no longer worked when it came up to the sell point. Man, I just got lucky. I guessed first time. I just kind of popped open the Lua code a little bit, and it had something in it to say kind of what the fill level of traders were, and it was an overwritten function. And although it wasn't overwritten the standard way, it was just coded to take it over, if I can put it that way. So I'm thankful to have found it. But I still wonder if maybe there would be a way to make it work in harmony with courseplay. The trouble is that just takes time, and time right now is something I don't have a lot of. Oh, the other consequence that we had, remember when I'd start the combine up, and I'd always say, how come it's showing a zero fill? And then I would realize that it was sitting kind of on the header of the combine, but the header isn't supposed to have a fill level. I mean, that's just silly. But then when you would toggle over to the combine, you could see kind of what the regular fill level was. Okay. Because it's a small field, there's going to be other issues like this right here. Okay. This. Yeah, meanwhile, the poor combine doesn't turn because it's cowering in fear from this rambunctious tractor. I gotta say, I'm thrilled though that now I think finally it'll start working again the way that it should be. So it's too bad I did our largest field with it going bonkers. And you know, there's something else that I'm not seeing though now, and it's there's no information up here now. Oh, interesting. No combine in reach. Alright, okay. We'll head back over to here. So, it's probably one of those anomalies that I'll just never figure out, and that's okay. Who needs to know what each trailer holds anyhow? But it's just one of those realities that sometimes you have, particularly I think with the script mods, when you have them in there and each scripter attempts to do something with a common game function, and if you have multiple scripts touching the same game function, you kind of need to watch out for what they may do to each other or cause another mod to quit working. That's just kind of unfortunate. Just the nature of the beast, because who knows who released which script first. You know, maybe the modder that had for the separate fill levels for separate trailers maybe did it before courseplay, did it after, never thought about it, never tested it with it, and so you run into problems like this. And you know, it's easy to blame the particular modder, but if you've ever attempted to mod and tried to do testing and iron out every possible thing you could think of that may cause your mod to break or someone else's mod to break, I mean, frankly, there's just not enough hours in the day to pursue all that. And what you hope for is, you know, if you're testing these, I know the mentor that I had who taught me everything I know about Lewis scripting, which still isn't that much, but he told me, he says, a really good tester, mod tester, is one that will literally try to break your mod. Will do things with it that were never intended for it, and interacted with other mods in different situations just to try to see if they can get it to break. And it's that's to help you fix it before it goes out to the public at large. Because once you send it out there and then you start hearing from people, hey, it isn't working, and oh, that's kind of stressful at that point to try to figure it out when you never know particularly what situations or circumstances people may be running it in. Alright, it appears combining is taking place over there. Can't really tell, we're so far away from it here. And I could have had this almost done by now, probably, if I would have pulled that silly mod out a long time ago. But I didn't. Okay, you know what? He's having trouble. Here, we need to go to the rescue. Doggone it, he's going after that fence with an earnest. I'm telling you, courseplay has an affinity for fences. It's quite offensive. Does he have a... He does. Move, Combine. Oh. I was just laughing because... Oh, I'm in the way. I was just laughing because a Combine... A human driver would clearly have seen there was a narrow neck and would have oriented the machine so that they could cut it out accordingly. But it is terribly hard in Lua coding, you know, to get it to function like human eyes would. So, of course, you gotta wait for it to... Oh. Is that all you got? Okay. Let me take it down because we are so short of funds. Like, I'm gonna pull it up from here, and we're gonna just head on down here and get this little dab. Yeah. See now, whether I'm on the main machine or the header, it tells me the regular fill level for the whole machine. Just like it's supposed to. I think it's waiting. Alright. Head back out to the field. Even though I lost a mod, I gotta say, I'm tickled to have figured that out. So, it's always a boost when you have a problem and you figure out a solution. I'm not gonna hold my breath. It'll be a solution for a little while, but always handy. And I don't know, I know I've talked about this dynamic before. You especially feel that when you're making mods and trying to get them to work. And, you know, when you pour your heart and soul into them, and who's beeping? Especially in the Lua modding, I don't know if this is true for other types of modding, but it seems particularly true of the Lua stuff. When you're trying to set up some code that to make a mod or something do something in game, figuring out how to get that to work the way it's you intend it to is a fine art and takes just a ton of work to get it there. And sometimes you encounter problems you never would have thought you'd ever have, and then you got to figure out a solution to them. You know, problems with things that have nothing to do with your mod. And it's like, wow, I never thought about that before. But obviously in the coding, these things are joined at the hip. I got to figure out how to temporarily unjoin them at the hip, so I can do what I need to do with my Lua code here, and then have the game do what it needs to do. It's just, yeah, it's a fine exercise. Is that being harvested over here? Yeah, it's pretty close. What's going on? I can't tell if... Yeah, I can't see the machines from here. So you know what? I just as well go... Okay, he's still moving. Very, very good. Carry on. And speaking of mod conflicts and fixing things, the very fact that we can hear the beeping noise of the machinery backing up over there is an indication that there is a mod problem. I don't think it's a mod conflict, but when you think about it, we should not be able to hear, clear over here in this field, I don't know how far away that is as a crow flies, but we shouldn't be able to hear the beep, beep, beep noise of when the tractor is backing up over there. And I think it has to do with, again, something in the Lua code that needs to be set up correctly, but there are local sounds and there are global sounds. That might be one way to put it, that you hear everywhere versus just at a particular location. And I think probably in this case it has something to do with, maybe the self table. The self table in Lua is everything on the current object that you're working on. So for example, the tractor right here has its own self. And so if you have a self, there's something for the fuel level in the tractor, over here that says how much fuel's in it. There is something that identifies the lights, so you can turn them on and off, those kinds of things. And it's something that is very specific to this tractor alone, not all tractors, only this one. Well, the sounds really need to be set up for that too, so that they only play when you are driving this tractor and this tractor alone. Otherwise, you could set it up for sound to play when you're driving it or when someone's driving it. And what can end up happening is, if it isn't set up so that you only hear it when you're on that particular tractor, you're going to hear it all over the map. So that's, I think, what's going on right now with that other tractor or that particular mod that says to generate beeps when it's backing up. There's still just a little sliver way over there. We're making a little bit of headway up here on our windrowing. We'll get it all nice straight rows here, so that when we come in and do the baling, it'll be a piece of cake. Because we'll just set it up on the same GPS setting that we have here and follow the rows, and it just makes it a whole lot easier. When I was a kid working on the farm, we didn't have GPS, and I'm not sure that they have GPS there even now. And it was kind of a matter of farmer's pride, if you will, if you could we didn't really use a plow, but you'll know what I mean by plow a straight furrow, or mow a straight line, cut a straight windrow. And really, it's not that hard to do. You just need to pick a fixed object way off in the distance and maintain your focus on it while you're driving, and you'll have something straight as an arrow. It works about as effectively as GPS. The problem then happens every other row after that. It's amazing how curvy and that kind of thing some of those can get. Once you start following the edge of your cut rather than looking far ahead for the line. But that's what we kind of did. But GPS anymore seems so ubiquitous. It's just silly tractors. It's just everywhere, and it's not only does it make things look pretty, if you will, by having everything all ship-shape looking in the field, but it's a huge efficiency thing. Even I remember, I think one of my uncles saying back in the day when we were windrowing that he felt he was probably able to keep the header over within 6 inches of the edge of the cut. And you say 6 inches is pretty good, you know, for the eye, especially since there's height to the grass, and that's still pretty good, especially when you're moving along at, you know, 3.5, 4 miles an hour, bouncing around in the dark, you know, which is when we did our windrowing. But even still, 6 inches is a 6 inch gap. You know, if you had in those days, the header that we had was 12 feet, if I recall correctly. And so, you know, if you that would have meant his cut was 11 feet 6 inches, kind of on a regular basis. And you know, to take that whole 12 feet, you know, probably would take GPS, and it probably wouldn't be 12 feet. It maybe would get within an inch, 2 inches. I really don't know. Maybe somebody here would know. But you start doing the math on how much time that would save you, or how much quicker, you know, you could get through a particular field, and it starts adding up in a hurry. And pretty soon it isn't just farmer pride anymore. It's efficiency in getting more done, or in the case of application of sprays, it's better use of, you know, your chemical and less waste. It's better on the environment. You're not putting as much down, you know, that gets wasted or that kind of thing. And turn it off. All right, I probably gotta go out the way I came in, very carefully. But we just didn't have it, and you know, with anything, I know nowadays it isn't even so much GPS. You know, they're talking where, you know, you may have tractors no more with a human being in it. And a part of me says, like, boy, doesn't that just take the fun out of farming? You know, to where, how am I going to get this sucker out of here? Oh, I thought I couldn't drive through there. Huh, I'll be jiggered. All right, well, there goes that. Let me get this going and see. Yeah. We're going to just take him with us to the next farm. But yeah, now the rage seems to be where you have auto-driving cars. Pretty soon that's going to go to farm machinery. Control F. Yeah, maybe you'll follow. Alright, follow the leader. At least that still works. What did I hit? Oh, I probably just did more damage. These signs, I should be able to knock them flat. Sheesh. Yeah, we're out of our big field. You know, I wonder, even as I talk about GPS here, you know, does GPS work, or is it useful in small farming? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. You know what? I'm gonna just pull rank. I'm gonna park on the road, and I don't care if any cars stack up, because we have a little bit of work to do with our combine to kind of make a place. How did I get that little sprig of stuff back here? I don't know. But even as I think back as a kid working on the farm, and I don't know, I guess you call it a type of joy. I really, really enjoyed working on the farm. I don't think I've made any secret of that. I mean, those were some of the best years of my life, and years that if I could repeat them and do them again, I think I would do it. I mean, they were just fun. All right, let me get you hired. Go back to you. And if I, you know, I just wonder if I would have the same opportunity to work on a farm if all the machinery, you know, was self-driven. You know, they probably wouldn't need help. I mean, that's to eliminate labor. And I don't know. It probably wouldn't be the same. Don't know what they would have a person do. But some of those things, I mean, they're just fun. And some of them a challenging thing, you know, whether it's learning how to drive a machine and those kinds of things. And you know, you take GPS, that's kind of a step in the middle, I suppose, between having full auto drive of a machine versus running it entirely yourself. So, but I don't know, in here, when we use GPS, and I suspect it probably would be that way in real life, you know, it's maybe funny to say that there is strain when you're sitting at a machine and running it all day long, but there is strain on your eyes. There's tension when you're trying to watch that edge, and depending on what you're doing, you know, just keeping an eye on your machine and always trying to keep the line straight and make sure, like if you're planting or whatever, that you don't have any skips and overlaps of that kind of thing. That does add stress, and if you have a tool called GPS to help you out, I would hope that would help your day to be a little smoother, and that you could still have the same enjoyment from it, maybe even more. I remember the person that taught me how to use GPS. He went by the name of Forbiddy. I think his name was Trevor in real life, and I remember him telling me that once you learn GPS, you know, it potentially made the game more fun, you know, because it just, I don't know why. I don't know if I would say it makes it more fun, but it's just kind of cool having a mod like this. You know, I've used it extensively, and it does exactly as it's advertised. It does a wonderful job keeping you straight. It helps steer vehicles and everything. And you know, I could sit here and talk to you all, and it helps me keep everything straight. So I think in many respects he was right about that, and he did a lot more multiplayer server type stuff, and maybe on a multiplayer server having nice straight rows was even more helpful than it is here. Did my combine quit? I almost think it quit. God, loafing employees trying to climb trees. No, you're not budging, are you? Houston, we got a problem. What is going on? Wow. Oh, good grief. Now, am I fully... Now, let's see if I can I bounce this thing? There you go. Come on. I'm trying to put it in reverse this whole time I'm doing this. Wow, did I get lucky. Oh boy, I got lucky. You know, probably what this is telling me is I really should be not neglecting my machines here when it's on the outer round. That was close. Anybody that has followed this series knows I've had quite a few mishaps with fences, particularly when it jams the header all the way through, but then won't let me pull it back. In this case here, it looked like he tried to climb the fence, and so, yeah. My tractor, though, is not seeing it. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's on pathfinding, but alright, that's close enough to the fence. We have these little fields that we farm clear to the edge. Alright, let me pull him back. Now that we have a ring around the field, hey, are you gonna wake up? There we go. Now look at that. It's behaving perfectly normally. Or as you would expect. I don't know what normal is anymore for courseplay, but I think this is what we want him to do. There we go. Well, it appears we've run out of time, so I think I'll let you go with that as we continue harvest here on Gelvin Valley. Thank you for coming along for the ride and listening to me bellyache about this, that, and the other. Y'all have a wonderful day. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.